You're going to eat some rice, some French fries,
French fries?
and some chicken.
I like chicken.
You do.
Hi, I'm Lillian,
And I'm Felipe.
and we are the Postmodern family.
We're Americans living in the UK, trying to live a traditional life. If you like our channel, please subscribe. So today's episode is about sushi. So do tell us, how did you come to know and love sushi?
My parents introduced sushi
Because you're
to
Japanese, right?
me. Gozaimashita. Konnichiwa. No, I'm not. No one would ever guess that I'm Japanese. I'm too tall. Our viewers probably don't know how tall I am. I just realized. Yeah. So, my parents introduced me to sushi
At what age?
I don't know, since I could remember.
Since you started eating food, chewing.
I don't remember exactly when, but probably 11, 12, 10 maybe. But I remember the highlight of visiting my aunt in Toronto was that she would order 3 huge platters of sushi, and we would all gorge on all sorts of different kinds of sushi. I absolutely loved going to see her in Toronto because it was a time we could gorge on sushi.
And of course your dad taught you like what was the best to get.
Of course.
Which is...
In terms of, he would tell me the best
you were given an education
in value.
in food. Yeah.
Not,
which was his key, like...
Yeah, like how much things cost, and that's why they're good. Not how
like,
they taste.
Value for money, right?
Yes. So he'd be like, the sashimi is the best.
Value for money.
Because it doesn't include fillers like rice.
Yeah.
Or seaweed.
Yeah.
It was just straight fish. I do love sashimi though, and I particularly like salmon sashimi, so that's what I always get when I...
Is that considered the superior of all fishes? Like,
salmon?
Yeah, above tuna, above yellowtail.
I think it has to do with flavor, but it is very popular. It is one of the most popular. Yeah, it does taste really good. And then in university, I also worked at a bubble tea cafe where...
Well, tell them what bubble tea is, because I don't think they would know.
Bubble tea is a Taiwanese drink.
Taiwanese
drink.
For those who don't know, Taiwan is the true Chinese country.
Yes.
Not the
free,
not the communists.
The independent. The one that are allies with the U.S.
Yeah.
So, Taiwanese drink that is basically a strong tea with lots of milk in it. So milk tea, and then bubbles, which
cold,
are...
right? Served with ice, cold.
You can have it both ways, but cold usually. Served with tapioca pearls, and so they're like little tiny chewy balls, and they would be on the bottom of your drink. So it kind of looks like little dark, like black balls on the bottom of a milky tea-like drink. That's the classic 珍珠奶茶.
珍珠奶茶.
But this place that I worked in, the bubble tea cafe, had all types of bubble tea. So not just milk tea, you could have like a jasmine tea, you could have green tea, and then you could have like fruit smoothies with bubble tea in it.
So you worked here?
Yeah, I worked at this place, and they also had a relationship with the nearby sushi cafe. And so what would our customers, we had a relationship where our customers could come order their bubble tea and order it off their sushi menu.
So you were a waitress? Is that what you were considering?
Yeah, I was a waitress.
That's how we met, right?
No. and
I left you my phone number on the receipt.
Yeah,
you
right.
couldn't resist.
Oh yes. Yes, getting hit on by a customer, the best. The best. And then we would call in the order at the sushi place, and then we would go pick it up and bring it over and serve it. And so I remember this is my first exposure to restaurant, like working in a restaurant, working in a cafe. I would like mess up orders, and I would forget to like check in on people, and they would like I would forget to like ask for the money. Then we'd be sitting there forever, you know. It was all the same mistakes. That was the first time. But I worked there for several years, and then I got better at it, obviously. And I got decent tips, I guess. At a small cafe like that, though, people don't like to tip very much. It's not like going to a restaurant where you worked.
But we'll get to my story.
Yes. So yeah, so I've seen a lot of different kinds of sushi, and I've seen really well presented sushi, and then not so good sushi in my lifetime. Let's hear your story.
Right. So unlike my dear wife, I did not grow up eating sushi. My family is Latin American, and it was considered bordering sinful to eat raw meat.
Why?
Okay. I don't know, to be honest. Even the steaks, you were taught to order them well done.
But that's because of the blood. I can understand that, because in the Bible it does say, do not eat blood, do not drink blood. So they would be...
Yeah, so they took that quite seriously.
But there's no blood in fish, is there?
But, you know, you can imagine that there is blood when you first cut out the fillet and you cut out the pieces. So...
But you're not eating it, so...
So anyway, it was really taboo to eat raw meat in my family. So I was never ever exposed to it,
or even a hint of raw, like
or a hint of raw.
Well done.
Yeah. So so then that passed on a stigma to me about raw food as such. So I had a gag reflex with any kind of raw food. So I go on to university, I go on to graduate school, and when I was doing my doctorate, I worked part-time at a Japanese Korean restaurant. It's called Tokyo Soul in Syracuse. So the one half of the restaurant was, or one third
they
was
divided it
like a Japanese hibachi grill kind of thing. The other third...
They did divide it.
They did, yeah. The other third was your Korean-style barbecue with the grill in the middle of the table. And then the other part, well, actually, it was pretty much in half. And then from any of those tables, you could order sushi. So there was a sushi bar.
And the sushi bar was in the middle when you first come in, right?
Yeah, that's right. And the sushi chefs were like the most paid people in the whole restaurant, besides the owners. But they were like celebrities, you know.
Really?
People were like...
They were Japanese, too.
Yeah,
like real. These are real.
I think they were
legit.
real. I think so.
Yeah.
But I could be mistaken. When I worked at that restaurant, that was my first ever waiting tables experience, and I must say I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed serving people and doing the best I can to please them and bringing their order out and getting good tips. Like a good weekend, you can make, I don't know, $300, $400.
Wow.
So for some reason, I was popular with the 45 and over crowd, ladies. They'd ask me to sit down at their table and chit chat with them, and anyway, I was never successful with the university age and 20, my age group. But anyway, it was there that I learned to eat sushi. So the people there insisted that I'm missing out on something really special, and so I gave it a shot, and I must say I've never graduated above the rolls.
The sushi rolls,
where it's
seaweed and has rice. And...
Yeah. I've not moved on to the sashimi and the nigiri. The gag reflex is still kind of there, but I learned the wasabi is excellent. That spice, that nice kick. So yeah, I learned to eat sushi and love it, although, I stay with the rolls.
I see. I never noticed that, actually.
I've
never noticed that.
You're so focused on devouring your food that you...
sashimi.
Yeah. So when we started dating or whatever, I had already eaten sushi, and there was no...
And because he worked at this restaurant, he learned how to use chopsticks really well. So I was impressed by that, because I grew up using chopsticks, and I wasn't... Yeah. I wondered if he knew how, but he was perfect at it. So I thought, match made.
There it is. I think your mom was impressed too. Yeah. It's like he eats with chopsticks better than you. I think she said it.
She said that you have the proper grip. Actually, yeah.
Oh,
you have the correct grip, and
you
don't. I don't have the correct
That's
grip.
That's right. Put that in there. So when we moved here, both sushi lovers used to eating at sushi places, and the big question was, could we find a good sushi restaurant here?
Yeah.
And so did we? Have we?
Not really, unfortunately. So we went. Probably our favorite right now is this buffet sushi buffet. Mainly because of the buffet. Like you can have
the
as
buffet
much
aspect of it
as you want. But when you look at the picture of the item, and then you get the actual item,
it's that age-old.
It does not look the
dilemma.
same. For example, I like to order the dragon roll, which in America, the dragon, at least the restaurants I'm used to, it includes, you can have whatever kind of fish. This one has breadcrumbed king prawn in it, but it should also have avocado, and sometimes it has a little bit of eel in it, and then it should have a little drizzle of the sauce. And this one had no drizzle. It also usually has some sesame seeds on it, and some fish roe sometimes. It's like a dragon roll, I thought, is like a special roll, you know, like where they just load it up with like all sorts of.
Well,
great
just by the name, you hear dragon, you think like could be the top shelf sushi roll.
Yeah, so I was disappointed by that. And then also when you, with the nigiri, I'm used to my fish being thicker. Like the slices should be.
It was like razor thin, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like smoked salmon, except not smoked. Like so thin and laid over some rice. So I'm more used to at least like half a centimeter thick of. But usually like a centimeter. It's like that would be, that's like sashimi to me, would be like a centimeter thick slice of salmon. I always order salmon. Like I like tuna, I like the other stuff. They have eel and squid and whatever, but the best, I think my favorite is the salmon, and so I don't even try the other ones anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, I also prefer the salmon, but I like the spicy salmon. With the
you
they
just
have
like the spicy flavor.
I just like spicy, hot flavor. So they often serve the roll with a spicy mayo on top, which I haven't found here. I used to have spicy tuna as well, but the quality of fish wasn't as good, so I prefer the spicy salmon where possible. And then crunchy, so I like the flakes, like tempura flakes, sprinkled on top of the roll to get that crunchy texture.
That's good.
It's probably unfair to be judging sushi in the UK via one poor buffet restaurant.
True.
In this area.
True.
So
but then again, we're by the water. We're by a harbor. Like,
yeah, it is kind of weird that
they should have good fish, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
The funny thing though about these restaurants is that usually the chefs are not Japanese. Like you go to a Japanese restaurant and like they're Chinese, or in your case, the Tokyo Soul.
Well, okay, so the sushi chefs were Japanese, but the chefs that did the Korean food and all the hot food, they were from the Dominican Republic. And if you guys are watching, love you, miss you guys. They coined a nickname for me called they called me Gallo Pinto, which is a Spanish word for rice and beans, because during their lunch break they would cook each other Latin American food, and they invited me over to have lunch with them, so they would cook me lunch together with them.
So the other great thing about the sushi buffet is that not only is the sushi a part of the buffet, you can also order hot foods like chicken dumplings and calamari, and then you can do like rice and like the noodles and stuff. But we were really unimpressed with the rice and the noodles. One
thing that she did teach me was the to combine the wasabi with the soy sauce. So when I learned to eat sushi, and before I met her, I would just dab wasabi, like straight wasabi, onto my rolls.
Goodness.
And then dunk that into the soy sauce. So the bottom of the roll had the soy, and the top had the dab of wasabi.
Wow, that's spicy.
But yeah, but then I saw you one time when we first started dating.
I always did that, yeah.
So we mixed the wasabi. So I mix a lot of wasabi into the soy sauce.
Yeah, it's getting the right texture and consistency and color to that.
I don't really care about the texture.
Perfect.
Just whether it's spicy or not.
Thank you so much for watching our video on sushi. We hope you enjoyed it. Check us out on patreon.com/the Postmodern Family for more information on what we're all about. And remember, we do make videos 3 times a week, so hit that subscribe button now.
Bye.
Bye.